Hey there, advisor family. Before we dive into this, hit the subscribe button, smash like, and follow us wherever you listen. Don't just lurk, commit to your growth right now. You really need to listen to us on a daily basis because we help people every single day improve their lives in all areas. So today we have a wonderful guest on our show. He also has a podcast on our show. He's on numerous times and he does various episodes, and his name is Mark Lee Fox. He's a former space shuttle chief engineer. He turned health tech blazer. After 17 years of research, he founded the Resona Health and invented Vibe, the world's first pocket-sized pulsed electromagnet field PEMF device. Mark's mission is bold, make drug-free frequency based on wellness as common as a smartphone, offering protocols that users report that it helps them every day. They see differences from chronic pain and PTSD to sleep issues and stress issues. It helps in various issues. And today he's here to talk about it and talk about different ways that you can improve yourself using this device. Mark, you literally went from launching rockets to healing frequencies. What moment flipped the switch and convinced you to make this change and revolutionize health for so many people worldwide?
Yeah, and you said 17 years. It was actually 27 years ago. So it
Oh,
was,
wow.
so you get a picture of her right here. It was that.
Oh my goodness.
So that couldn't come up the stairs. She was crying one morning. And so me and my wife flipped a coin to see who was taking her to the veterinarian. And she had severe arthritis, unfortunately, in her spine,
Wow.
which is awful. And a veterinarian friend of mine who's very forward thinking is like, hey, there's this magic machine in Oregon that can reverse arthritis. I'm like, I don't believe that, but okay, it's my dog. Why not try it? Right. So that's when I kind of dove into it and learned frequencies. And then I was skeptical then. I still am now. Right. But there's just too much data that says it works. So that's the main motivation after my dog was I saw what it could do for PTSD
Yeah.
and
Mm.
just criminal that it was being held hostage in a clinical environment and people didn't have access to it. Even me, I had to drive 2 states away, right? I lived in Utah at the time to try and get to this device. So that was really the motivation to make any of these devices was how do you make something small that's affordable that most people could use and it's simple and easy to use, hopefully. So that was the spark was PTSD, but we've expanded it to well, on PTSD, just so you know, we have, I believe, I'm waiting for somebody to tell me that's not true. We have the largest PTSD PEMF study in the world. And
Wow.
we have a 98% success rate, and it's constantly ongoing. We keep adding data to it, but it's staying at about 98%. So that's really, really cool. We're doing studies on the vagus nerve, right, with the stimulator. We've got statistically significant clinical data on that with a third party independent thing that tested it. Um, I stayed away from vagus nerve for a long time because I didn't know anything about, I'm not a doctor, okay? I'm a rocket scientist. I didn't know anything
Mhm.
about vagus nerve, but the more I've looked into it, it's the magical thing that can, if it's toned correctly and it's in balance, can fix a whole bunch of stuff. It can fix, like we were talking earlier before we started the show, it can fix things that doctors don't know what's wrong, right? It's
Wow.
just they can't find it in a test. They're not sure what it is, whether it's allergies or just reactions to things, stuff like that. So yeah, that's really it. It's super exciting. It's fun. It's the funnest job I've ever had. Don't make any money yet, but maybe someday.
It's so hard when you have a company because you're constantly putting everything you put back into the company to make it better. Now, you gave Lisa and I, you sent us each one the vibe. And I got to tell you, I've noticed a huge difference. I've been wearing it, I've been using it frequently, and I just feel a sense of calmness. I feel more relaxed. My clarity, my focus has improved tremendously. It definitely took my stress level down, and I got to tell you, I needed it because life itself. And as we were talking about having a business, it's very stressful. And when you're doing so many different things, and just life, everybody, our lives are always on the go. It's a go-go society. Everyone's dealing with different issues. We all handle stress differently. And, sometimes, people, unfortunately, in this society, we have a lot of doctors who are, pill pushers. And,
Right.
if we can naturally reduce our stress and help different conditions, just by wearing, a device, that help, that works with the frequencies in our body to improve our overall health. That's like a blessing, because there's so many side effects with medications. And, I remember after I had my second child, my stress was, I went through postpartum depression, and I had issues with my stress and depression, and they gave me medication. And I got to tell you, the side effects of those medications were so powerful. I went right back to the doctor. I said, I can't feel my emotions. I don't feel right. And, so they took me off of one drug and they put me on another drug. Well, the same thing. It just wasn't as
Right.
intense. So I made them take me off of it completely. So to have something like this years later, because my kids are all grown now, so but to have a device like this, it's a blessing because I could just wear it everywhere I go. It's so light, it's easy to activate. You charge it every night and you put it on, and you can put it over your clothes. And I just feel a difference. As the day goes on, I feel a difference from when I started the day, and how my emotions just really kind of sync together. I don't know. What about you, Lisa?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for sending them.
Oh,
Just absolutely love it. The packaging is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I was so excited. I work with frequencies indirectly, and I have some products that have frequencies, so I know the importance of them and how they can affect the body. But yeah, I charged it up. So it was so simple. You just use like a typical charger. Then I turned it on and I put it on and I sat down, and immediately I felt my vision clear. And I
yep.
felt my fight or flight just calm right down. So I absolutely love it. I've been using it every morning while I meditate. I use it halfway through the day for 30 minutes, and then I use it at night when I'm laying there and trying to get into a relaxed mode to sleep because I'm running a million miles an hour all day, every day, just like you guys. Stacey's, you're running the business and you're running your business. It's so helpful to calm the body. My mom suffers from, chronic anxiety. She has her whole life, and she tried it and absolutely loved it immediately. It works really, really quickly. Yeah, just can't say enough good things about it. I just love it. It's great.
You guys hit on lots of really good comments there. And one is just the whole, and I'm writing a book right now called Go Find Joy. And the chapter I wrote yesterday was about your nervous system was designed, for tigers and threats and stuff in caveman days. It was never designed for 46,000 emails, pings, dings,
Yeah.
all the stuff, right? All the stress. It wasn't designed for 6 o'clock news of death, destruction, and everything, gun, school
Mm,
shootings, all this stuff, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, how can you need to upgrade your nervous system, right? Or the way it operates. And that's what this is doing, is it's balancing the fight or flight with the vagus nerve. And it's running basically brainwave theta and alpha. It's in that range, which is rest and relax. And so that's what it's trying to do and sync up with that. But yeah, it's like the side effects, of drugs, they include death, right? You hear that all the time on the TV too. And it's like, well, people will go, why don't we know about this technology? Well, one of them is the drug companies own the airwaves. They
Right.
own the noise for the most part, right? Because the most expensive commercials in the world on TV are 6 o'clock news. And they're
Yes.
all drug
mm.
commercials, and they're all side effects may include anal bleeding, death, no sleep, all these horrible side effects, right? So yeah, that's what's super cool about it, is it doesn't have any side effects, except sometimes if it makes you feel a little sick, you probably have an infection and you don't know it. So that's the one thing
Mm.
that we've seen, where because it's detoxing, right? It's doing something. We've seen that with Lyme disease. So I probably had 200 people contact me. It's like, what do you have for Lyme disease? Nothing. So I kept but I got beat up with so many emails. Like, all right. So I dove into it and found one paper that a doctor did that ran Delta 1 to 4 hertz and said it'll kill the bacteria. And he goes, be careful, because I'll say it wrong. Herm, Hermshiner reaction, something like that, some German name, right? Is that your body's the thing's going to spit poison out when you try to kill it. So The first study that we did, good news, bad news, is every single person got sick. So it worked. It killed the bacteria, but made people sick. So they stopped using it. So I'm like, okay, so let's cut back from level 10, start at a 5 or a 6, then run the liver protocol afterwards to clean the toxins out of your body, then run the vagus nerve to retone things, and rinse and repeat. That's working for people. And then they're working their way up to 10, right? And killing it. So that study's still going on, right? But we're getting good results from that. Just lots of cool things going on. This is our watch. It'll be out in 2 months.
Oh, wow.
And so it's completing the whole wellness system that you're running the Vibe or the Vega Vibe to get the energy in your body. You feel better. And just, it's 2025. The still gold standard for pain is an AVS scale. It's 1 to 10 of the guy crying at 10 and I'm smiling at 0, right? But so those are all good and that's valid data, but to also have biomarkers that you can measure, it's going to have a ton of cool stuff in it. It's the number one thing is heart rate variability. And you're hiring the right consultant when the doctor goes, which one are you measuring? I'm like, oh, I didn't know there was more than one. Okay. There's several of them. So the different ways to measure heart rate variability. But if that increases, you want your heart rate to come down. It means calmness. Okay. But heart rate variability, you want it to go up. So it's the variation of the distances between heartbeats in milliseconds. That is a super good indicator that you're in balance for fight or flight. It's actually the number one thing now that the Veterans Administration uses to measure PTSD reduction is just heart rate variability, if it's increasing or not. I actually, lesson learned in business, right, is we all made mistakes. I made this assumption that cortisol level would match PTSD. So like if the cortisol level came down, it means your PTSD was improving. It's not true because people with PTSD and dogs and horses that have PTSD, their cortisol is low already. Nobody knows why. So I spent 3 months running the wrong study on cortisol. And I was looking at the data, go, God, all these people have really low cortisol to start with. And so it's not correlating to stress. So that's really exciting. Heart rate variability now that we can measure things like this. Believe it or not, this thing can measure blood pressure, blood sugar, glucose levels, stress.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're going to, I was just looking at right here. So you got mood tracking, heart rate, sleep, blood pressure, blood oxygen level, and blood glucose, plus an overall stress score. So that'll be really cool to be able to show people, hey, run this here. You can see it happening. This is so fresh and new because it's only like 3 days old. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I've had 3 people now tell me that changed their AFib. So it's a measurement. Didn't even know they had that on an Apple Watch.
Yes.
So it'll measure the percent of time that your heart is in a bad place, right?
Right.
Potential AFib. I've had 3 people go from 97% to 2.
Wow.
In 30 minutes. So before all the haters watching this attack me, yes, we're running a clinical trial now. I'm starting it right now. I'm trying to convince the doctor to come do it. It's one of our customers who's in Australia and he's a cardiologist. It's like, dude, let's go get. And the cool thing is we're designing this so if you choose to, it can upload the data into the cloud. So
wow.
we will de-identify it so your name's not on it, but now I can do all these studies for glucose, blood pressure, all the things I just mentioned, and have that instead of begging people to fill out the forms.
Yes.
Which is what I do a lot of times is please fill out the form where you did this study, getting data from people's payment. Yeah, we can just do that automatically. That'll be super cool. So you want to hear anybody other new products coming out in a couple months?
I do, but before we begin, I'd like to know what's the difference between the Vibe and the watch?
Well, the Vibe is going, so there's the Vibe itself, which is putting out energy, and then the Vega Vibe, which is the necklace you're wearing right now. They're both putting energy into the body to heal it. This is just measuring what did the body do. So it's not inputting anything. It's just the biomarkers coming out of it, like blood glucose.
Got it.
Availability, blood pressure. So yes, that's ideally the idea. And of course, we're going to be competing with people like Fitbit, but we're going to be the only ones that don't charge a monthly subscription. That's going to be one of it. And we're going to give away $3,000 a year of free wellness training. So we're going to have somebody on our staff. We're going to have 3 webinars a week where they come in like this. People can ask a bunch of questions, that kind of stuff. So that's all exciting, some cool things. But I'll quit talking for a minute. You guys can ask some more questions.
I have a quick question about the Veggie Vibe. So I use it 3 times a day. Is there a recommended amount of time? How should people be using this to maximize its effect?
We don't know for sure. That's the studies we're running right now. The study we ran that showed all the improvement was actually only one 30-minute session. So
Really?
Okay.
So we showed increase in heart rate variability, decrease in heart rate, improvements in sleep and wellness, blah, blah, blah. Now we're running studies right now is what happens if you use it an hour a day, every other day, or every week. And so those are the variables we're trying to run right now. Again, back to human studies are not easy to get the herding cats to complete the stuff and do the data. So we don't know. I've ran, for me personally, my heart rate, I'm 63 years old. To be excellent level, I should have about 40 milliseconds or higher. I'm always been at 15 since I've been measuring it. Since I started using the Vega Vibe, I'm at 55 to 60. And I'm running it every other day for an hour, something like that. So yeah, we still don't know all the long-term stuff, but PEMF's been around for 100 years. NASA's been using it since the 70s. So we do have a lot of data that says there's not negative long-term effects with it. So
Now you said that you have more products coming out also?
I do. Make it okay. You guys got to keep it super secret, but this is going to be a device for Alzheimer's, which I can't even say that, but it's going to be 40 hertz light flickering and 40 hertz magnetic field at the same time.
Wow.
So I got to go run the study. We're going to have these probably in 6 weeks, but I'm not going to sell them until I go to an Alzheimer's research center and we get the real data. So I'm not going to do that. The other one that's going to come out in 2 weeks, because I'm already selling voodoo, right? So I haven't promoted or marketed that you can infuse it into cream. So you just put the device like that, put it in the cream, and it'll hold the energy for about 30 days, or you can do it with water and it'll hold the energy for about 6 hours. Now,
Wow.
that's anecdotal data because there's no way in physics to measure the energy in water or cream. But
can you let the audience know what that's doing to the water in the cream? Like what is that doing to it?
Same as what it's put in your body, it's putting energy into it. And so it's putting very specific frequency energy at whatever the protocol is that you're running. So if you want to run neck pain, you just run the neck pain protocol, put the cream on your neck, or general inflammation would work wherever you wanted to rub that. So we sell a lot of cream and I've never marketed it and it works. So we're going to have the world's only triple peptide frequency infused anti-wrinkle cream.
Wow.
So we've made the formula already. The test samples are on their way here. So that will be, we're already patenting that because nobody has anything like that. I've never even heard of that before. So it's basically going to be a wrinkle cream that's got 3 different peptides in it that have been proven to work, especially in combination, and then putting the energy into it for the protocol for anti-aging that's already on the device. So that's the theory. That's the idea. I was like talking to a dermatologist yesterday who approached me and I said, every wrinkle cream commercial in the world is BS and it's a before and after Photoshop picture. So I don't want any of that. What can we do? And he goes, oh, it's easy. We take a super small micro. He's used a word I never heard, even though that's, what is that? He goes, it's a little tiny biopsy thing. And I can go look at collagen in the skin. And he named 4 other things that I don't know what that word was. But he's like, I can go measure if it's physically doing something in the skin or not.
Right.
I go, can you help with that? He goes, love to. He goes, I can go get 25 volunteers to go do that easy. Just give them the device. I'm like, done. So that'll be super cool to go see if it really works and it's not a fake Photoshop picture thing of getting rid of the wrinkles, right? So that's exciting.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, with this product, like you mentioned a bunch of great products. Now, people come to me all the time and they ask me, they're having problems with sleep. anti-inflammation, anxiety. How can your products, help with sleep and anti-inflammation and anxiety?
All three of those you just mentioned are specific protocols on the Vibe. So there's one specifically for sleep. Don't take it to bed with you. Run it 45 minutes before you go to bed. So it's like a 45-minute protocol. Anxiety is another one on there. When it comes to anxiety, what we're recommending, and again, it's not exact science, right? We're still testing stuff. But a very small portion of people, when they run the actual anxiety protocol for anxiety, makes them worse and don't know why.
Mm.
So we're telling them run anxiety, run the vagus nerve, run relax and balance. And if some of your anxiety is due to trauma or PTSD, then run PTSD. That is a study we have ongoing right now with the whole group of volunteers, is test all four of those in combination and play with it and see which one works best for you. So that's a complicated answer to the one on anxiety. Sleep's pretty straightforward. Run the sleep protocol. And then general inflammation, there's one called general inflammation. When in doubt, run general inflammation, because it's the underlying cause of 80% of everything that's an ailment or bad with you, right? Is just
Right.
general inflammation. It's the go-to one. Of course, the first version that we put out had 47 protocols on it. General inflammation is the most popular one. It's the only one that had a bug in it. I was like, why couldn't it have been mono or something that nobody uses, right? And it's like, and trying to figure out what this bug was, and we could not. We called it the ghost bug. It would just freeze the screen up, and it was only on general information. If you hit another button first and then played it, it never did it. But then that's annoying to customers, right? So it's like, never did figure it out. I just rewrote the whole protocol and went like this, stuck it in twice, and it went away. So that problem had been around for 2 years, and don't ever know what happened or why it was even there. But part of the fun of developing products, you think they're going to be easy, not so much.
Now, is
I
there
have
a
a quick
specific,
question. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to know, Mark, is there such thing as overstimulation of the vagus nerve? Can I wear this too much? Can Stacey wear it too much? Um,
Right. The
yeah,
answer
overstimulation.
is you can't overdose. If it makes you feel tired, this is the only indicator that we've seen. If you're and customers come, hey, it's making me tired. And now I'm smart enough to know, how many dozens are you running a day? Oh, 20. Okay. Well, cut back to
Right,
one or two protocols, because your body, the theory I have is your body needs time to take the energy and use it. And if you're just
right.
constantly flooding yourself with it, it doesn't have time to repair. So the good news is you can't overdose. But here's the weird, Lisa, here's what's weird about it is most people come to this technology because they're long-term in mental or physical pain or both. Okay.
Right.
Once it works for them, they don't care about how much can I cut back and still feel good. So I have a friend who's an ex-race car driver. He's had 4 concussions. He's been on fire twice. He
wow.
was taking 8 Ambien a night for 15 years. Okay.
Hmm.
So now he's not taking any Ambien. He owns 15 of these. He looks like a terrorist because he's got them strapped to him all the time. Like, his name's Mark too. Mark, you don't need to run 24/7. He goes, I don't care what you say, Fox. This stuff is helping me. So you get people like that where it helps them, and they're not in a clinical environment. I can't take it away from them. It's like, just cut back if it's making you feel tired is the only indicator that we've had, is for the reasons I said. I think your body's like, but people, they use it so much because they don't want to, I said, experiment on themselves. As, oh, where's the point where I can cut it back to twice a week and then I start hurting again, or I start feeling bad again? They're like, no,
Right.
what I have right now is working. I'm an N of 1 to my sample. I'm sticking with what I have. So that's what we know. A lot of stuff we don't know, but that's what the data and the indications we're kind of getting back for people.
Uh,
Amazing.
yeah, it is amazing. Is there like a testimonial of, something that gave you goosebumps from a client that had purchased one of your products and you were just wowed, because what it did for them?
Yeah, I'm going to answer it this way because a year ago it was me and the fish back here, and I've got about 13, 14 people now helping me. I've told all of them this is going to be one of the most satisfying jobs you've ever had in your life. However, this is not a reality show. This is real people. You're going to talk to
Mhm.
people who have been tortured, beaten up by boyfriends, miscarriages, deaths in their family, all of this stuff, right? So be careful. So I have countless amount of people that have had a gun in their mouth, going to commit suicide, and then they didn't. The more common one is I was going to get divorced and she doesn't want to divorce me anymore. Hey, my kids want to hang out when they never wanted to. I'll give you two stories specific because I try not to cry. But one guy calls me up and his voice is just like this. He's an older dude, older than me. Mark, I took your little gizmo and I ran Alzheimer's on my wife. She hasn't been able to speak for 2 years, and now she's talking with their friends again. So
Wow.
Wow.
I go, you're that excited about your wife talking again, or is this the weirdest reaction? But I've probably told you this story, Stacey, before, but I'll just say it again because if this one doesn't raise a hair on your arms, you're not human. Okay, a 17-year-old girl told me, Mark, I'll never have a date in my life because I have Tourette's. All the boys hate me in school. It's awful. I get bullied all the time. I ran the brain balancing protocol. My Tourette's disappeared, and I have a date Saturday night.
Wow.
Wow.
She married the guy 2 years ago.
That's
So,
amazing.
yeah. So that one that just put chills in my spine just saying that, right? So we have a lot. That's probably the most extreme one. We have a lot of them of just simple things like somebody going, "Hey, I have this terrible itch on my arm and the doctors don't know what it is. And I scratch myself till I bleed and it only comes like every couple of weeks and they don't know what it is. I'm like, run allergies and general inflammation. I don't know. And just try it and see if it works. And it went away. I don't even know what they were. So
Right.
you get those kind of stories all the time. I mean, every day we get 500 emails a day now, right? 400 to 500, something like that. And there's all those stories in there. One key thing that is really cool too is because this is for people and pets. Okay.
Yeah.
Dogs and horses. If I was evil, I would make a protocol that makes a horse lick because every horse owner in the world tells me they're happy as long as they're licking. Okay. so what are the indications of a horse? It's their ears and the licking and the way the body movements and stuff are. And so, I got bets with all these cowgirls and they've all lost so far. It's like this stupid little 2.4 ounce thing ain't gonna do nothing for a 1,000-pound animal. I'm like, you want to bet? So you put it on. We have a strap that's a 30-inch thing goes on their vagus nerve in their neck, and they think of stress with a horse, right? So you're gonna trailer your horse somewhere in a week. The horse owner is already stressed out a week before they even go there because they know the horse is gonna be kicking and not like it. The horse is gonna stress when he sees the trailer, right? And then horses, for whatever reason, keep trying to hurt themselves. They run into fences and wires and right. So wound healing and they're constantly just banging into stuff, right? Allergies and arthritis. I mean, I've had a couple cowgirls tell me, Mark, if I can, this has hit me the way she said, Mark, if I can ride my horse for an extra 2 years because of this device, charge whatever you want for it. So then you think about that, right? If you own a horse, it's a family member. They get 20 something years old, you can't ride them anymore, but they're going to live another 10 years. So you got to stall them and take care of them. And so if you can just make them, my grandniece who's 15 has a whole bunch of horse stuff that she does over there. And she's like, build one where it makes the flies stay out of their eyes because they're all having to put these hoods on the horses because again, eye infections from flies. Right?
Yes.
Let me see if I can figure that one out, but I don't know what that is. Right. Got to prioritize the stuff I'm working on. But yeah, so we get lots of cool stories like that. A lot of them with animals and dogs, or a dog can't jump off the couch and he couldn't do it for 6 months and everyone goes, I want the dog version or the horse version. I go, they're the same. So dogs, cats, horses, people all have the same ailments. Yes, we're trying to get giraffes to mate. So I'm running the above 528 frequency on a giraffe. We tried to put one on a rhinoceros and he smashed the crap out of it in 3 seconds. He just ran over the tree and went crashing and went to pieces. It's like the vet goes, I told you, you can't put nothing on a rhino. I'm like, okay. But
there are so many dogs, that suffer from anxiety. I know a ton of people that own dogs, and my one dog is a Shih Tzu, and I can tell that she has anxiety. And I bought her stress balls. They're like, these because they seem like when you have these stuffed animals, they put their whole mouth on it and they kind of just hold it. and I bought a stress bed, and it had the same principle where the outside of the bed was very cushiony, and they could put their mouth on it. But this is kind of cool because you can just put it on, and just, I guess like a human, do like 30 minutes a day or something like that, and they could actually help with their anxiety.
Yeah, the biggest ailments in dogs are going to be separation anxiety, allergies, arthritis, actually asthma, especially for
Really?
horses. Yeah, for horses. But we have a dog bandana that has a special pocket in it because they wear it like a bandana.
Yeah.
And if I ever get Trump to drop his tariffs, we have dog harnesses coming to have a special pocket, but they're on a boat somewhere to get here from
Oh,
China. I'm still waiting for him, and I can't get tracking number until it lands in California. But we have some really cool. Let me grab it real fast. So it's going to look like this. It's just a horse vest, or excuse me, a dog vest, and it's got you can't even see it. It's got a little pocket right here that the vibe will just slide into with Velcro. So
Oh, very
it's a
cool.
regular
cool.
like dog walking harness. So we'll have those. I'm hoping in a week or two if the boat ever comes and shows up. But yeah, so that's cool. And it helps a lot with dogs. And then, there's that whole argument of a dog and an animal and a horse, they don't have a placebo effect. And I actually repeated that myself multiple times, but I'm changing my tune a little bit because a horse and a dog know you're trying to help them. So
Yeah.
they're, even if they don't know what they don't know what it is, even when you give them injection or something. But it's like my dog used to have, the one I showed you, had ear mites. And boy,
Yeah.
she hated for you to lay down there and clean her ears and put medicine in them, but she'd have this look on her face like, oh, I know
Yeah.
he's going to do it and he's trying to help me. So, all right, let's get this over with.
Right.
Right.
Mhm. Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
My my one dog that she was having problems with her eye, and I put these eye drops in, and I could tell she didn't really want to put those eye drops in, but she stood there because she knew it was going to make her feel better. So you could just look on her face, she was like, "All right, mom, just do it," and
Get it over with. Right. Exactly.
I think it's great that you're helping people with conditions. I think this is amazing what you're doing because so many people suffer from so many different conditions. And the side effects of all these drugs people are using are horrendous. And I even see from my family members who have many different conditions and they're taking several drugs, statins and stuff like that all at once, and I see the changes in their personality and their energy and the way they even some of the drugs that some of my family members would put on, I could tell it made them depressed right away, and just and very fatigued, and that's not a way to live. It really isn't.
The average adult in the United States is on 4 medications.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Wow, yeah.
we don't have enough time to hear Mark's opinion on statins because that is the two pet peeves I have in the world, me personally, is cholesterol and blood pressure. And statins, if you just have your people go Google the war on statins, or I'll give you a link to all the research I've done to summarize it.
Yeah.
They should all be in jail. It is so criminal how, I'll just tell you one piece of it. This should be illegal and you should go to jail for this. They do what's called a run-in period. So what they
Mhm.
did on the statins is they, for 6 weeks, saw what happened. And if anyone had any side effects, they threw them out of the study before the quote study began. That was 35% of people. And everyone that's listening to this, it's on a statin, is going to go, oh my God, had severe muscle pains, right? But they reported almost none because they took the 35% out and didn't let them participate in what they called the starting line, which is
Right.
so criminal. It's unbelievable to not show that data, but that's what they did. And then they cherry picked so much stuff in there. And yeah, it's cholesterol, LDL specifically. And there's an NIH paper out right now that says high LDL does not correlate to cardiovascular disease, period. And they did a meta-analysis of every study that's been done. It's
Mhm.
published on NIH. Anyone could go to PubMed and read it, but none of your doctors read it. This is super sad. My doctor, who's passed, unfortunately, I would come in with the summary. I go, I need you to read this. She went just like this. Nope, I'm not looking at it. If it's not recommended by American Medical Association, I don't care. I go, you really don't want to
Yeah.
read this and learn anything? She goes, nope, I don't want the liability, which is disgusting. Dr.
Yes.
Ken Berry, if you don't know him, have you people go listen to him. He is a card. He's hilarious. He's from Tennessee. He quit his practice because he's so disgusted with it. His cholesterol is like 350. And he goes through, when everyone goes, what happens when somebody tells you you're going to explode? He goes, show me the data, because that's not true. And he's done all the research is how LDL is good. And he goes, if I could reach it and pull cholesterol out of you, you would die in less than a quarter of a second, right? You need this whole mystery on salt and blood pressure. This happened to me one time. I'm lecturing. I can't eat salt because of blood pressure, blah, blah. And this guy in the audience comes up and he goes, everything you just said about salt and blood pressure is a lie. And he hands me a book. It says, Salt Your Way to Health. And he was the author.
Wow.
This was like 15, 20 years ago. I'm like, so I read it. It's like, well, how in the world did blood pressure and salt get correlated? One study with rats, and they gave them 50, 50, not 15, 50 times the amount of daily salt, and their blood pressure went up like 8 millimeters. Wow. And the Surgeon General just took that and said, yeah, okay, salt's bad. And you've been told that your whole adult life. It's like, so I've been eating green beans without salt forever. I salt it now, but it was like, it's so, I told you I wouldn't get my soapbox with that, but that blood pressure, well, it's like, here's the trick question I ask the doctor when they say something about my blood pressure and go, I'm over 60. What should it be? And they can tell the way I ask is, oops, he knows something I don't. Okay. The 120 over 80 crap. And then they move it to 115 over 75. There's no data in the world to justify that except to sell more drugs. There's not a single piece of data that said 115 over 75 is better than 120 over 80. And I can show you the study, the meta-analysis. If you're over 60, 140 over 90 is the best target for longevity. It's not 120 over 80.
Right.
So go do your own homework, people. The data's out there. You're being lied to. You're being lied to intentionally and sometimes unintentionally, is that doctors just aren't educated on stuff like this, right? If their continuing education for a doctor is what? It's going to a resort somewhere that's funded by the drug company to introduce the new drugs to them. Right. That's their continuing education for most of them. I mean, some fortunately are breaking out and doing their own stuff and quitting their practice because they're sick of the status quo of those things. So times are changing just slowly.
Yes,
definitely they are. And I feel like we listen to our bodies and we trust that and we go after what works. And we really got to start doing that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And products like this, they work. It's so helpful. And so what if, your doctor doesn't know about it or doesn't agree with it? Our world is changing and we really have to encourage people to listen to what their body's telling them, keep doing what makes them feel better. And I don't see anything wrong with that.
So my number one goal, honestly, for me personally, is to manage my own stress. And I'll tell you the most stressful thing I had in the world in this business is all the Facebook haters. So I literally would only get up enough energy like on Friday to go into Facebook and look at the comments and go, why are you guys giving women one more thing to prove they're better than us? Because 99% of the haters are men on Facebook. Yeah. Right? I finally hired a great lady named Doris in Panama to handle all of my comments on stuff on Facebook, right? And my wife always goes, well, how many hearts or thumbs up do you get for every hater? I go, 30 to 1. She goes, well, concentrate on that. So I told Doris, take screenshots of good comments. And I forgot I told her to do that like a week before last. And I saw something pop on my computer and like, what is that? And I click on it. And it was some good comments. And I looked in the folder, there were 380. I didn't even know she put them in there. So I wrote an article. It was last time I tried to fight with the haters the article is called Liar, Liar, Pants on Fire. Okay. It's like, here's what we don't know about this. And then the punchline to it is, here's the top 100 scams of all time. Okay. DNA sequencing, CRISPR, antibiotics, MRI. So I named 300 technologies that are absolutely positively impossible until they weren't.
Right.
So if anyone spent 5 minutes looking at how an MRI machine works, it's the most magical thing in my mind, my opinion, ever invented by a human being, ever. It has so much magic in it, but we do 1 million of them a year and nobody doubts the picture.
Yes.
Of your heart, right? We probably don't have time to go into it. I can give you my 45-second version of how MRI works, but it's complete magic in multiple locations. It's like, that can't actually happen, but it does.
Right.
So this technology is the same. Like I said, man on the street with a microphone, you're going to go, hey, do you know what PEMF is? 1 out of 15, 1 out of 20. It's getting more and more, but they're going to know what a mat is from a chiropractor or something like that, or a wellness spa or yoga or something. But the horse owners, 100% of them know what it is because they
Right.
know what a magna wave is and they've had their horse treated with it by the veterinarian. So it's just an awareness thing, right? Get more and more people aware of it and try it. If it doesn't
Yeah.
work, send it back. We'll give you money back. I don't want anyone to ever have one if it didn't work for them and paid for it. So I don't think anyone else does this. Any company, when people want a refund, so we have a super low return rate and their credit card's been compromised from something else. Most companies just go, the hell with you. Mark sends them Zelle money out of his personal account to give them their money back. Because
Right.
I can't give them their money back on a credit card that's canceled
Yeah.
unless the bank on the back end moved it over to the new card, which most of them don't. But we get that one. Man, the reason I thought of it, had one this morning. Okay, I'll send you your $300 back out of Mark's personal Zelle account, just because I don't want you to complain. Didn't work for you, fine, right? Just send it back.
You know, tell people, before we go, let people understand why your product is better than all those products on the shelf. Because you have so many supplements nowadays. People are putting products, for chronic pain, for this, for anxiety, for stress, use this, use that. And there are so many things on the market, and people are overwhelmed with all these different things. A lot of them, most of them don't work. And a lot of them are just fillers and, a lot of things that are used. So the product is inexpensive to make. And then they charge a bundle, and then people get these products and they're not happy with the results. And you see that most of the time. So, explain to people why they really should focus on your product and why it's better than a lot of those products on the shelves.
Well, I'm going to answer your question not the way you think it is. I'm not going to say it's better necessarily. In the PEMF world specifically, a rising tide lifts all ships. I know most of the guys in that industry, most of them are good people. There's one evil lady, okay, I won't mention her name, but the rest of them are all good people, and the devices are good. A lot of them work. What is most of them, like a beamer mat, they're going to run a sinusoidal wave over a certain amount of frequency. They don't have, most of them don't have specific protocols for anxiety or PTSD. So on the 60 protocols are all uniquely different.
Mhm.
Infrared, light therapy, all those things are good. I mean, they all work. There's just different price points. Subscriptions is a big, so I wasted a year of my life building the whole system for monthly subscriptions and all this stuff in the product. And one morning, just because when I get a subscription to something for a year, I put on my calendar the day I buy it a year from now to cancel it if I don't use it, right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, every business in the world loves subscriptions because it's recurring revenue month to month. Every consumer hates it.
Yeah.
So I killed the whole
Very true.
project, and I'll never have subscriptions for any of our products ever. So that is one difference. Like this watch, Fitbit's going to charge you $80 a year to use it, right? Or rings, all those guys are going to charge you a subscription. So that's a big difference. The one I get asked the most is, well, how's it compared to the Beamer mat? That one I have a good answer for. It's 152 times smaller. It's one piece. It's not 7 pieces. You can put it in your pocket. It's 250 times more affordable, whatever the number is anymore. You can take it on an airplane. You can drive with it in a car. You can do whatever you want. You can't do that on that. On
Right.
a Mind Tap, great product over here, but I don't use it a whole lot because I have to sit still for the 40 minutes, not do anything, and be conscious of the guided meditation he's putting it through. And I hate to say it because I think the guy owns the company, but his voice annoys me. I can only run the ones that have no voice, which is only about 2% of them, right? So but it's stationary. I can't really do that. This, I can go hiking, walk on the beach. I usually forget I'm running a protocol till I go to grab my phone, and it's not my phone.
Right.
That was in my pocket. Oh yeah, I forgot I was running that. Okay, so there's a lot of good. So Nancy states there's a lot of good products out there. I don't want to knock all them because they're all good people doing good stuff. Most of
Yeah.
them. It's just convenience, affordability. Yeah, because I get this too. It's like, I want a 12-hour battery. Well, it's going to look like a football. Right? I can't do that.
Yeah.
Is I got to have a trade-off of how to make this 2.4 ounces, right? It's totally untechnical at completely. Half of the design of this is get in a pound zero envelope so I can ship it for $4 instead of $20.
Yeah.
right? Because I'd lose all the margin, right? So it's like, all those kind of design trade-offs and stuff. But now, to answer your question, there's a lot of good products out there. There's more and more stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Some of them are scams, of course. Now, the second part of your question, supplements, I can't touch because there's 4 trillion of them,
Yes.
and and there's nothing regulated at all, which to me is just weird. The FDA wants to shut down PMF, me, and make me go away because they don't want it to exist, but they don't govern anything that you're swallowing.
Yeah.
Supplement, which is to me is like, okay, what's in it? I mean, so
Mhm.
yeah, so I can't comment because it's not my space, and there's way too many of them if I did. And we get this. Will this interfere with my voodoo doll incense, my 7 drugs, and these 46 supplements I'm taking? I don't know, because nobody in the world's ever studied that. So nobody's ever studied the. We just said the average doll has 4 medications. Nobody's studied what are those 4 together doing to a
Right.
population.
Exactly.
So yeah, so we don't know. We just can't comment on supplement thing. One thing I will say in this space is electrolytes. So Liquid IV owns probably 80% of the market. Do we have another product coming out? This is another one that's lost in the mail somewhere. I don't know where it is, but called PMF Booster. So
Mhm.
we're going to have our own electrolyte supplement to put in water that has the correct amount of magnesium besides the other elements. But magnesium has been shown clinically to make PEMF more effective at the cellular
Oh,
level. So,
yeah.
and
That's
most
great.
people are deficient on magnesium, so that product will have it. When I said that, just made me think of something cool. We have stem cell researchers that are using the device to prep the cells so that the stem cells are more effective. And they're
Right.
like, what protocol we run for that? That question's never been asked. Right? So you have to go start researching all that as what would prep the cells best, general inflammation or should brainwave theta, right? So we're testing all that stuff to see if that helps. But that'll be stem cells as a whole nother subject is just in you guys probably too. I have a handful of personal friends who have had cancer, got stem cells, and it's gone. I mean, one guy had lung and brain cancer in the same month and got stem cells. So that's super exciting thing that hopefully
Yeah.
we get the help in that industry too, but don't know
Yeah.
yet. We're still playing with it.
Right. Now, if we had to take today's conversation and you wanted to really focus and emphasize on some important factors, what would you like the listeners to remember from this conversation and walk away with?
No boson. So boson is Rich Hall was a comedian in the 70s. He had sniglets. They're words that aren't in the dictionary but should be. Boson's
Hmm.
one of them. A combination of bozo and ozone. It's an invisible gas that surrounds people from letting new ideas get in. Right?
Hmm.
Get rid of the
Yeah.
boson. Go try it. See if it works for you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But for most people, it is going to work. So I'd leave them with that. Anxiety, the book I'm writing now, the reason I'm doing is anxiety is the number one ailment in the world for people and pets in every culture.
Right.
So it's the most common thing there is. So that's my marketing team's like, Mark, focus. You're trying to do 62,000 things. I'm like, okay, to make them happy, I had to pick something. So I picked anxiety for that reason. So we're
Yeah.
putting a lot of the radio ads around that and writing the book around it called Go Find Joy. And that's a huge one because doctors get to make up words. So I made up a word, diabiological syndrome.
Right.
So it's DIA, depression, insomnia, anxiety. Nobody has one of those. You
Yeah.
have 2 or all 3. You can't sleep because you're depressed. You're depressed because you can't sleep. You get anxiety because you can't, right? So just keep an open mind to answer your question. Go try these things. Don't have to be my product, actually. Go try PMF in general. Go try a mat or something and see if it
Right.
helps.
I
Don't,
love
don't
that.
be don't be the extreme guy who called me up screaming at me with the Facebook haters. I tried it for prostate. It doesn't work. And you're a thief and criminal and Hitler. I'm like, okay, well, could you at least give it a chance because it hasn't been delivered to you yet? It was in the mail still. He still hadn't even got it yet. And he posted all this hate. It's like,
Oh.
okay. It's like whatever, dude.
I was always told, by my PR agents, never read the comments, and, Good comments are just as good as bad comments. Bad comments bring attention and focus. Don't even bother with the comments because you have nothing to prove. You know that your product works, and that's all that matters. You know that it works, and just let people focus on the testimonials and let them, and that's what really makes it because all your testimonials are positive. So that's what people, care about is the testimonials, and that's the total proof. When you go on your site, you see those testimonials. And that's how we know, how effective it is. And I'm here to say that it does work because I've been using it and I see a difference. And Lisa, you said you feel a difference too.
Yeah, absolutely love it. I will continue using it just during meditation when I wake up, 30 minutes. I love how light it is. It's amazing. Now, Mark, would you tell everyone where they can look at all this stuff and read more about it and find it?
Yeah, so the website is Resona, Resona .health. There's no .com. They just go there. There's not a ton of content on it because of the FDA. If you wanted me to not say
Right.
anything, so I get a marketing person every day is like, "Can we fix your website for you?" I'm like, "No," and I can't really explain that to them, right? But they can go there. I have a book called "What on Earth We Doing to Our Health." It's super expensive. I have it on sale for $1. So I'm gonna go get the book for $1. You can look at
Wow,
that.
break the bank.
Yeah, it talks about the technology and some of the things we talked about and gives examples and stuff. And so I'd start there and look at that. But we have YouTube channels. I have tons and tons of YouTube stuff. But you on the website, you'll go to a thing called knowledge base, and then you just ask it any question you want. We're using a lot of AI as well, too, which is kind of that's a whole other story. Some really cool. We're doing some. Okay, I got to say that real fast. I asked GPT, should I use a red light or a blue light and tell me why? And it said, blue, don't use red. And I go, what frequency do I use? And don't pick a part number that doesn't exist. And it gave me the part number of the LED. Here's the
Mhm.
wavelength, the blue light you ought to use. Here's part number and who to buy it from. Wow. Okay. That would have taken me months a year ago to go do, right? GPT to jump on. So
Yeah.
yeah, go to Resona.health. And we have the Vega Vibe and the Vibe and the dog harnesses will be for sale. The cream, all those things are online. But there's still a lot of information on there. There's just not going to be the list of the protocols that talk about the specific ailment because the government doesn't want me to say Alzheimer's, right?
Uh,
Don't use that word. You can't say it anywhere. So you'll see in our marketing that it doesn't say that, but it implies it because it's what it's doing. So
mhm.
Mhm.
yeah, what one article I wrote right now is like, okay, this is for Alzheimer's. List the 10 conditions of Alzheimer's. This is for Alzheimer's. Write a sales page, but don't say the word Alzheimer's anywhere and stay FDA compliant. Bang, writes the page. So anyone reading that goes, he's saying Alzheimer's, but he didn't say Alzheimer's anywhere. That's the game we got to play because we're not fortunate to be supplement people to do whatever we want.
Right.
There's an advantage to supplements for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but if for whatever reason, I still don't get why, but this is how our society is right now. And we just, until things change, we just have to roll with it.
And hopefully things are changing. We'll see.
Yes, 100%, 100%. Well, this has been amazing, Mark. Lisa, do you want to add anything to this before we go?
No, I just want to say, like, I absolutely love it. Thanks for creating such an amazing product. Like, I
Thank you.
can feel your heart that you really want to help people thrive and live a long, fulfilling life. And that really shows in your personality and who you are. So, yeah, keep breaking the mold, ignore those negative comments, and yeah, let's do this together.
Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that.
100%. And I'm with Lisa. I could see the compassion and the love. And you've been with us for a while now. You've come on the show multiple times, and you have your own podcast here where people can listen to your past episodes when you talk about different conditions. And the love is there. Your compassion is there. From the moment you began the company when I first met you, you've had such a such a will inside you to want to help people, a passion. And it shows the way. from day one. It's just the way you talk, the way you express, the need to help others, the need to help pets even, and I love that. I love the fact that you are so compassionate and so caring and that you want to help others. And, there are documentaries on frequencies, and they talk about the power of frequencies, and they show examples. They show different technologies, and they use different devices, and they show, they put sand on metal, and they show the frequencies, and how energy plays a role in it. And it's amazing. And they prove just with using these. Gaia, I think, makes a great documentary on their station about it. It's only doctors and physicists that are talking, and they're explaining why it works. And people should really look into it because, we do have skeptics that say, well, if I can't see it, then how do I know that it works? Well, there's a lot of things out there that we can't explain, but it works. And like you said, we need to just give it a try, and that's the way, and I'd rather take a chance, give it a try, and not have to use those medications that, are out there because there's so many side effects and it can do so much damage to the body. And you have that money back guarantee. So there's nothing to lose, and I suggest to the listeners, give it a try. If you're suffering from a condition, if you're struggling, if you are suffering from anxiety, sleep issues, post-traumatic stress disorder, anything, chronic pain, especially, check out these devices, give it a try, and there's nothing to lose. I've had only positive responses. Lisa's had positive responses from it, and both of us highly, I can say, recommend this product. And I think you're doing a great job, and I'm 100% behind you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're very welcome. Well, thank you so much for coming on today, and we'll see you
Yeah,
soon. Yeah, and maybe we'll talk about statins because I think people really need to know the danger of statins because I think there's so many things out there and people just take it and they don't think about the what it does to the body, and it's dangerous, but we'll hold that I think for another issue, for another episode, because there's a
Mhm.
lot to talk about
I
that.
have a friend. We're going rafting in Tennessee this week. We're leaving today, actually, this afternoon. And I just learned that he just got on statins for the first time. Like, do I ruin the weekend and just attack him with all my data, or just
The weekend and then
Yeah.
attack the yes.
that's what I decided. I think
Yeah,
I'm not
attack
going
them
to say
after the
anything
weekend.
after
Yeah,
the
yeah.
rafting's done. Maybe next week. Yeah.
Enjoy the weekend, then go for it. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today, Mark. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate everything you do.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thanks,
Oh,
guys.
you're very welcome. You guys have a great day.
Bye.